Welcome on into Sports Memo Today. You know you're getting that actionable information in 30 minutes or less every Tuesday and Thursday. And a happy Thursday to you here. I'm your host, Dan Alexander, and happy to be with you because right at the top, I'm going to be talking with one of my favorites, the prop master over at SportsMemo.com, Matt Josephs. And we're talking Super Bowl. We got you plenty of college basketball talk all show long. And don't worry, you're not going to be getting snubbed on some information on placing some wagers tonight, as Ross Benjamin has a two-pack of college basketball plays for you. But Matt Joseph's not too early to talk some Super Bowl action when our Philadelphia Eagles are in said Super Bowl. Have a great promo to you, too. You can lock in either of these great handicappers or anyone over at sportsmemo.com or Wager Talk through next year's Super Bowl. We'll tell you about that a little bit later. But let's get right into it. Talk to my man, Matt Josephs, sm.buzz/MJ. That's where you can find him. And Matt, it was like a tongue-in-cheek joke all year long that when you and I do shows together, the Philadelphia Eagles don't win. And now we have 2 weeks leading up to get free plays in this Super Bowl. And I know you got to be just as excited as me. I told you I was going to bring the ruckus to the to Lincoln Financial Field. My voice finally has come back, so I was ready to go having you back on, man. How's it going?
Doing well. Just booked my train to come back home to Philly so I could be in town for hopefully a parade and to enjoy the game next Sunday. But yeah, looking forward to it. It's never too early to get some props in because, you know, some people are looking at them now and you might miss some values, and some people will wait till next week.
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of people, they want to do their side and total the week before. I like looking at these props right as they roll out because if you have angles when you're coming into it, you're probably going to get the most advantageous number unless maybe you're going on some unders. Then maybe you wait. But that's a topic to talk about tomorrow when you guys are breaking down the propsies on Prop It Up Friday mornings on Wager Talk TV. Let's talk some actionable info right now and look at the first prop that you have for us. And I believe, Matt, this is one that you want to splice a couple plays together that you would have to lay some pretty hefty prices for a nice little plus money take back. So what's the first prop or combination of props, I guess I should say, that you have for the folks?
So there's 2 groups of props that I play on Super Bowl Sunday. There's the player props and the team props and things like that I'm digesting hard and I'm kind of trying to figure out. And then there's the plus money ones where I'm trying to just, play a couple of them. And if I hit 1 or 2, then I can break even or hit ahead. And so basically what I like to tell people before you even look at any of the props, mentally play the Super Bowl out in your head. What do you think the score is going to be? How do you think Mahomes is going to do? Jalen Hurts, all that stuff. So that way you don't get influenced by the numbers, because if you go into this just looking at the props and saying, well, this looks good, and you don't think the game's going to match up, then you're doing yourself a disservice. So I kind of played the Super Bowl out in my head. Of course, the Eagles are going to win. And I was, you start looking at all your sports books, and they've all got different things and offers and things like that. Well, DraftKings offered, and this is actually just one bet. You don't even have to splice things together. It is the Eagles to win the game and both teams to score 20 points. I think the Eagles are going to score 20 points or more. Obviously, I think they're going to do very well offensively in this game, and I think they might struggle a little bit defensively. Obviously, they've been really good defensively, and they have very good matchups, but it is Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce's probably good for a touchdown or 2 here, and Mahomes is usually good for this magical throw. Obviously, we don't know who he's going to be throwing to in general other than Kelce, so this could be a little bit of a foolish wager, but I'm playing this because of the price. As you see below, plus 230 to get basically 2 really good offenses on Super Bowl Sunday with a penalty-filled referee to score 20 points or more and the Eagles to win. I'll take the price here anytime.
Yeah, plus 230. Gotta love that one. And that one's I'm probably going to run and bet right when we're done here on the show because I was already kind of looking towards the over. That was something that when the opening lines came out, I think this game, as Matt was kind of breaking it down there, could have some cracks in the armor of this Philadelphia defense to get some points scored that way. And I think the Eagles get their points too against a Spagnuolo coached defense of the Chiefs. So we're going both teams to score over 20 points or 20 or more points, best way to say that, and the Eagles to win plus 230. All right, let's ISO in on a specific player prop. And one thing that has plagued one of the wide receivers of the Eagles wide receiving core in Quez Watkins is simply usage all year long, Matt. And you think that might not change much come Super Bowl time. What's prop number 2 you have for the folks?
Yeah, and by the way, for prop number one, if for some reason you think wrongly that the Chiefs are going to win, it's not a bad bet to play for the Chiefs because I could see the Chiefs winning a 27-20 type game too. So if you like the Chiefs, you could do that, but clearly the Eagles are going to win. All right, so back to the Watkins thing. If you look at Watkins' last 5 games, quite simply, he has 3 catches. He has 2 catches in one game, that game against the Giants, when clearly there was a lot of backups playing, and the Eagles didn't really take it very seriously. But you look at that San Francisco game, he had 1 target, no catches. The Giants game in the playoffs, no targets, no catches. He had no catches and 1 target in that game against New Orleans in Week 17. He's kind of a guy that's just fallen out of the offense a little bit, and so and clearly they like Zach Pascal too. Zach Pascal, more of the veteran type, better blocker than Quez Watkins is. So I'm going to take a shot here at under 1.5 receptions for Quez Watkins. The reason why I don't like his yards under is if he does catch the ball, he has a chance to break it. And so we'll just take our chances that he has, if he does, 1 catch. So we're looking at under 1.5 receptions. As always, you see the juice there. You might want to shop around, have a bunch of different books. Some books will have different juices. So certainly this is where you want to have multiple options. But I think Quez Watkins will not be a big part of this game plan. So take under 1.5 receptions for the slot receiver.
Yeah, echo those sentiments completely, especially when you're talking about the Super Bowl. All of these books have such a wide range of offerings, but this is a standard that you're going to see every week. So you will see some, maybe not major price differences, but laying minus 125, we're always going to prefer doing that over minus 135, minus 110, even better. So couldn't agree with Matt there more. So Matt, if people head on over to your page, sm.buzz/MJ, you have a prop package loaded already that will continue to get filled up, or what else are they going to find over there?
Yeah, certainly. We'll start loading up a prop package for the Super Bowl. And there will be some college basketball. I had a bit of a rough day yesterday, so we're going to kind of reduce the load a little bit today and going forward a little bit until we tinker with the old system that we're using. But yeah, college basketball, NFL props. And as you said, prop it up tomorrow. We'll dive a lot more into the Super Bowl and get into a whole bunch of stuff. And that's at 10 o'clock on the Wage Talk YouTube channel.
Yeah, and definitely tune in. It's one of my favorite episodes of the year. The guys are going to be giving out their Propsy awards. So fans of The Office, it's like taking the Dundies to a whole nother level. So looking forward to that. Andrew McGinnis alongside Andy Lang and, of course, Matt Josephs tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Don't miss an early look at props for the Super Bowl and some actionable info in some other sports as well. Before we bring in Ross Benjamin, I want to mention this deal that is just terrific. You heard Matt there talking about college basketball is something that he dives in on, and also the NFL props. Well, if you want to get locked in for the Super Bowl, why not lock in all access with Matt Josephs or Ross Benjamin or your favorite handicapper at Wager Talk or Sports Memo through next year's Super Bowl. So you can get all access. That's all plays, all top rated plays until Super Bowl 57 of next year. Only $11.99. So you're looking at that. Typically going to be saving you around like $800, something like that. If you look at this super discount that's going to be loaded and expiring rather quickly, less than $100 per month. You break that down, less than $3.28 per day, and it's basically the cost of a 30-day all-access price, and you're getting 8 30-day all-accesses at no additional cost. And you lock it in, your access starts immediately. So you can get the props for this Super Bowl. You can get the college basketball that Matt and Ross are putting up. So go to your handicappers page. No code needed. That's loaded right this moment. And speaking of Ross Benjamin, let's welcome him in. Always love talking to my man, Ross, sm.buzz/RB. Great to see you, Ross. I know I wish it was the Eagles and the Bills in the Super Bowl for both of us. But, you're living vicariously through me these next 2 weeks, I guess, man. How's it going?
Well, very good, Dan, and I'm real happy for you, and congratulations on your Eagles getting to the Super Bowl. The Bills, on the other hand, as much as I hate to say it, did not deserve to be there because they did not play well at all at home against Cincinnati. The 2 best teams are there. That's the bottom line. And I do have a strong lean at this juncture on those Fly Eagle. What is it? Fly Eagles Fly is the
yeah. There we go.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep,
So,
yep. You're gonna make me sing it live on air here, Ross. I won't subject
come on,
anybody
let's hear
to
it,
that.
Dan. Let's hear it.
Yeah. I won't subject that. Maybe if they end up winning, that'll be the Tuesday edition. I'll
Want
make
some
sure we
Jack
get
Daniels?
Ross.
Is that what you said? Yeah, a
Yeah,
little bit of Jack
exactly.
Daniels. Yeah,
Maybe a little liquid courage will get me there,
yeah.
or maybe an
A
Eagles
man after
victory.
my
So
own heart with Jack Daniels.
yeah, absolutely, brother. So hey, we have plenty of time. We'll probably be talking to you at least once before we get into the Super Bowl. So looking forward to that. But a heavy lean, you're looking at the Birds here early. Love to hear it. But let's talk a little hardwood, because college basketball has been very kind to you, and really basketball in all forms. How about 38-21? That's over 64% since April 17th of 2022 in total wagers in basketball. So let's talk this first game that you wanted to look at. It's a little rivalry game as Ohio State's taking on Wisconsin. Ohio State, the 7.5-point favorite. What do we think? We lay in the lumber with the Buckeyes, or do we got a barking dog in this one, Ross?
Well, I'm telling you, this line jumped right off the screen at me this morning when I looked at it, because it did open at 7, and it's now 7.5. And the reason why is we got an Ohio State team that's struggling mightily right now. They're 1-7 straight up in ATS in their last 8 games. Yet here they are as a sizable favorite against a big brand name like the Wisconsin Badgers. But, in sports betting, I've said this time and time again, and I'll continue to say it, when it looks too good to be true, most times it is. So the bottom line is Wisconsin is also struggling. They're 1-6 straight up in ATS in their last 7, 0-4 straight up in ATS in their last 4 conference away games, and 0-6 straight up in ATS in their last 6 this season as an underdog. And according to KenPom, if this game was being played at Wisconsin, the Buckeyes would still be a 1-point favorite despite their recent struggles. On the surface, when you look at Wisconsin's defensive numbers, they look very good. However, you must keep in mind this team plays at a snail's pace offensively, and it's misleading when you look at their points per game in terms of what they allow, because their offense is what keeps the defensive possessions down. And their offense, speaking of which, has been terrible, Dan. Over their last 5 games, 55.4 points per game, shooting 37% from the field, and only making 58% of their free throw attempts. As bad as Ohio State has been lately, they're still number 10 nationally, according to KenPom, when it comes to adjusted offensive efficiency. This is a team that's still scoring 118.2 points per 100 offensive possessions. And they don't shoot a lot of threes, but they shoot them very effectively when they do. They're at 38.2% on their three-point shooting. That's good for number 21 in the country. Again, they're begging you, Dan, to take the underdog here. And I'm not falling for the trap. I'm going with a contrarian approach. I'm going to take the Ohio State Buckeyes, latest 7.5, over the Wisconsin Badgers.
Ross Benjamin refusing to get caught in that mousetrap. They just keep loading it up with that cheese, man. And Ross says, we're not falling for it. Lay in this spot with the Ohio State Buckeyes. I mentioned how totals have been extremely kind to you. How about 21-9, 70% since March 10th of 2022 on college basketball totals alone? And you're being generous enough. You got a free play on a total for the folks tonight in this Stanford-Utah game. What are we looking at? Over, under that 133.5?
Well, you're looking at a Utah team that's gone under the total in 5 of their last 7. More importantly, they've shot 36.7% or worse in 4 of those 7 games. However, Utah's also held opponents to 34.8% or less shooting in 3 of their last 4, and during that 4-game span, only allowing 59 points per game. Stanford, on the other hand, they've gone under the total in 4 of their last 5 with a combined average of just 125 points scored per game during those 5 contests. Their defense has been a major contributing to that low-scoring affairs, as they in the last 5 games, they're only allowing 56.2 points per game. And this is also a Stanford team that plays at a very slow and methodical pace offensively. They're ranked number 215 nationally, as they only have average 65.7 offensive possessions per 40 minutes played. So I'm going to go under the total here. Stanford and Utah under 133.5.
There you go. And when Ross Benjamin talks totals, you better be listening. Ross, when people head on over to your page at sportsmemo.com, what do you have locked and loaded for the all access clients tonight?
I got one play tonight coming off a 2-1 night last night. Dan already filled you in on how good I'm doing with college basketball and the totals. Keep in mind, folks, I'm also up over $6,000 in money earned at Sports Memo on my NBA picks since last April the 1st. But tonight, a total on the Northwestern and Michigan game that's up right now for $25. And again, Dan, as he eloquently puts, 21-9 in the last 30 with my college basketball totals.
Yeah, that's not too bad right there. It's hard to get much better than what Ross Benjamin has been putting together on the hardwood. Always love having Ross on here, especially I didn't even have to throw him any envelope or send him any check in the mail to say he's leaning towards the Eagles right at the top of the show there. So always appreciated talking to my man, Ross Benjamin. Huge thanks to Matt Josephs as well. That's going to wrap it again. Don't forget that Super Bowl to Super Bowl special. It's not just football picks you're getting in that. You'll get all of Ross's total plays, college basketball, NBA, as we head forward into other sports with baseball and whatnot are on the horizon. Definitely grab that now and grab access all the way until next year's Super Bowl. That's not too shabby. If you enjoyed the show, all we ask you to do, hit that like button. Make sure you hit subscribe so you never miss any of the great shows that we have here at Wager Talk TV or Sports Memo TV. And that's going to do it for us. We will be back Tuesday on a wall-to-wall Super Bowl coverage week here on Sports Memo Today. So again, for Matt Josephs, for Ross Benjamin, and for our producer, Eric, doing a terrific job behind the scenes, I'm Dan Alexander, and we will be right back here on Tuesday, only on Sports Memo Today.